This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. As everyone knows, the 2026 midterm elections are happening later this November, and everyone is assuming that 2026 will be a blue wave. And I should be clear about this. I do think as of now, Democrats are the clear favorites to win the House in 2026. Though I think Republicans still hold on to the Senate. Anything could happen, I guess, but right now, I would assume Democrats are the favorites to take the House as of now. With redistricting in mind, we shall see how big of a majority, but right now it's looking like, yeah, Republicans, they're going to probably lose the House. But I am beginning to question this idea that there's going to be this huge record breaking tsunami in 2026, which I guess it could theoretically happen. Like, okay, that is, I guess, a serious possibility. We are talking about a midterm. The Trump base, they don't usually vote in midterm elections. So, yeah, things could happen this year, and Republicans, they get crushed. They lose by 10 points nationwide. It's an absolute destruction of the GOP. I guess that could happen. But the more you look at the current polling right now, the more you should begin to really question, is this really going to be this record breaking blue tsunami D plus 12 environment? Is it possible? Again, yes, it's entirely possible that happens. But right now, I am having severe doubts that we will be seeing this magical historical wave. Now, I guess we should add some context because people just assume that every midterm election automatically is a wave year. No, it's not. Did everybody just forget what happened in 2022? Now, I'm not saying we're going to see a repeat of 2022 in 2026, but the point is, just because it is a midterm, and yes, in the last 20 years, most midterms have been big wave years. That is true. But that's not an automatic assumption we're going to see a historical wave year every single midterm. That just doesn't happen. So let's add some context. When it comes to wave elections, especially when it comes to midterms, you really need three things to go your way as the opposition to have a wave year. First thing is motivation to vote, enthusiasm. Are your voters more enthusiastic to vote? This goes with every election, but especially with midterms. If there is a huge enthusiasm gap, more than likely, yeah, you're going to, at the bare minimum, do better than you did in the prior election. And right now, it's clear that, yeah, Democrats are winning on this front. Look at this poll from CNN. Extremely motivated to vote. Democrats, 66%, Republicans, 44%. Among those who say they're deeply motivated to vote, the Democrat advantage expands to a massive 16 points. So it's clear that, at least for now, Democrats are winning on this front. They are winning the enthusiasm battle, but there are some catches. You could argue maybe they're peaking early, like with everything going on in Minneapolis with ICE and all that. It's probably inflating this a little bit, though they have been leading on this front for months now. And Democrats are the party of high propensity voters right now. That means their voters vote in every single election. It doesn't matter if it's a midterm, a presidential year, it doesn't matter. They're going to vote. Republicans, meanwhile, they're the party of low propensity. Their voters, they might vote in the presidential year, and that's about it. So that's why Democrats, they do have a big enthusiasm gap. But it seems like every single election, at least in the last 10 years, something occurs and the Democrat base, they go crazy, and suddenly every pollster is finding this magical Democrat surge. Did everybody forget what happened in 2024 when Harris entered the race? She magically surged to a +5 victory. She was going to win by 10 points, 5 points, win every single swing state. She's going to flip Iowa. And we all know what happened. Now, I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen, but people should be warned that, okay, yeah, Democrats, they do have the enthusiasm gap right now, but this has happened every election, especially in the last 10 years. Something happens or a series of events occur, Democrats have a huge enthusiasm advantage for a while, but then as we get closer to the election, reality sets in. Is the same thing going to happen this time? Maybe not. I think Democrats right now, they clearly are winning the enthusiasm battle, but be warned, the same thing happened in 24, the same thing even in 22. Yeah, Republicans, they shat the bed, but did people just forget that in the summer of 2022, after Roe versus Wade was overturned, Democrats had a historical surge. They were winning the popular vote. They were going to win the House. And yeah, Republicans, they did awful, but for a while there, Democrats were the favorites to win the popular vote and crazy stuff like that. And that didn't occur. That never happened. It was a temporary surge. Yes, it did hurt Republicans in some places. I understand that. But you get the point that, yes, Democrats right now, they have the enthusiasm gap, but I do think it's going to tighten in the next couple of months, especially with Trump's get out the vote operation, with everything going on in Minneapolis. It should tighten a little bit, but still, Democrats they have a clear advantage in enthusiasm. So that's the one major thing going for them, clear as day. Nobody can deny that. Maybe it's a bit overstated, but you get the point. Yeah, that's one part they need to go their way, and it's clearly going their way. But outside of that, the more you look at the rest of the polls, what they're actually showing, it's becoming more and more difficult to really believe that it's going to be a D+15 environment. Yes, you have a big enthusiasm gap. And even the generic ballot right now is looking like D+3 or D+5, which not as bad as some people claim it's going to be, but still, you get the point that right now, yeah, Democrats, at least in the top line polling, it looks like they're the clear favorites. But you delve more into the numbers, and it becomes more questionable because of two other things that Democrats need to go their way. Right now, it's not happening. So yeah, the first thing is enthusiasm. Democrats are winning that, but it looks like it could be overstated. We shall see. The second thing is Trump having a serious collapse with his base? This is a huge thing that not enough people talk about. Yes, people claim he's historically unpopular. Everybody hates him. But look at his approval with his actual voters. Now, there's a lot of people upset with Trump because he hasn't gone far enough. On some issues, he is not doing enough on like immigration. Maybe not enough on the economy, though there are some indicators that the economy is getting better. But the point is, that is a serious problem. People have a serious concern. And this is every wave year. Every time there's a big wave year, it's because the base is so upset with their candidate, the person they voted for, that they hate his guts. And they may not vote for the opposition, but they're just not going to, they're not going to vote. And yes, there is a certain percent of Trump voters. They're currently unhappy with Trump right now. But here's the thing. It's not 25% like some people are claiming. Just look this poll from Wall Street Journal, okay? Wall Street Journal, which includes a Democrat pollster, by the way, they found out that 92% of Trump voters in 2024 are giving him a positive job rating today, including 70% who strongly approve. Yeah. So it's clear as day that basically every single Trump voter in 2024, there's a chunk, like 5%, that disapprove of him, but the vast majority of them, clear as day, they approve of what he's doing, and mainly they strongly approve. That means they're behind him. They're still supporting him to this day. And that's huge because the whole narrative surrounding Trump's collapse is, oh, these Trump voters are leaving him. And even these other shit pollsters are claiming Trump is down to -30 or whatever. Look at Marist. Okay, Marist is a garbage pollster. They have no clue what they're doing. But right now, they found that 88% of Trump voters still approve the job he's doing, with only 8% saying disapprove. And this is from Marist, a really shitty pollster. And they're finding Trump's base is not leaving him. Even YouGov, another really shitty one, they found 86% of Trump voters, they approve the job he's doing. So there is some variation here. but you average it, it's roughly 88 to 89% of Trump voters right now. They approve the job he's doing, and like 7% disapprove, and the rest are unsure. Is that perfect? Of course not. But really, is that as bad as some people claim it is? Some people make it sound like he's down to -30 with his base. Nobody likes him. And yeah, he is, he's lost some voters here and there, but it's not this overwhelming, huge majority. It's not even a sizable chunk. It's really kind of a statistical error. And the funny thing is, a good chunk of these voters that disapprove of Trump, they're not doing it because, oh, he's gone too far. Most of them are saying he's not done enough. And they want him to do even more with immigration, the economy, etc., government reform, all that stuff. They want him to do even more. That is big because these voters, that still means a good chunk of them, they're still willing to support him. So right now, he's not having this historical collapse of the base. Even pollsters that have him a -20 or -25, guess what? They're not finding Trump down 30 points with his own voters. No, far from it. He's still in a really strong position with his core voters. There are some that may not vote for him. They are Republicans because they don't like the Republican Party. But the point is, for there to be this historical wave here, you really need there to be this huge, overwhelming backlash against the president and his party, and the opposing party is far more popular. Just all of that. You're not seeing that right now. You're not seeing this whatsoever. The Republicans may not be liked, but even to this day, people still like the Republican Party more than Democrats. So you don't even got that argument. So yeah, right now, he's not having that big of a base problem. Maybe with turnout because these are low propensity voters. That is the one catch to this. These are voters that they may love Trump. They're not going to vote Republican, or they may not because they don't trust Republican Party. They don't think they've done enough or whatever. That's the one catch to this. But still, there's no evidence of a collapse with a base. That's what you want to look at. If he's having a big base problem, like actually not a 5-point shift, because no matter what happens, you're going to have a chunk of your own voters. They're going to disapprove of you for whatever reason. Whatever reason, they think you did one thing incorrectly. They don't like you. This happens with every president. Like 5% of voters of their own party, they don't like him for whatever reason. This goes with Biden. This happened with Obama, Bush, Clinton, etc. So this happens every time with the president. So yeah, that's one of two things that you really can't say is favoring Democrats. But the third thing, and this is something that, of everything we discussed today, is never mentioned for whatever reason, because at least with this, you could argue, well, yeah, Trump's approval, his base is still really strong, but his overall approval is below water. He's -13, though. You look at AP Nork, you look at CNN, they're pushing absurd -19s. You take the outliers out, it's closer to like -7 or -5, somewhere in that range. Not good, but still, you take those out, he's still in a better position than he was back in 2018. But you get the point. Like right now, yeah, he's below water. But the third thing, and this part, if you're the Democrat Party, this should make you a bit worried. It's the fact that right now, Republicans are trusted on every single major issue. And this is from the Wall Street Journal poll. So this is from a Democrat pollster who helped conduct this poll. And they found that Republicans are trusted on border security, immigration by big margins, the economy, inflation, foreign policy, the Russia-Ukraine war, tariffs, having the right priorities. Democrats, meanwhile, they have health care. But even then, that lead on health care for them is historically shit. Most of the time, it's by 45 points. Now it's D plus 15. So right now, immigration, voters trust Republicans big time on. The economy, yes, the economy and inflation. Voters are trusting Republicans right now on these issues compared to Democrats. They might be saying Republicans suck. They haven't gone far enough on some stuff. They got to do way more. But compared to what happened under Biden and the Democrats for 4 years, this is a clear improvement on all accounts. That's the thing that nobody wants to talk about for whatever reason. It's as if this destroys a bunch of narratives because these are three big issues: the economy, immigration, foreign policy. And voters are trusting Republicans on all of them. The only thing Democrats have going for them on this is healthcare, which at this point, is maybe with the subsidies that might become a semi big issue for some voters. But realistically speaking, the average undecided voter, they're going to vote based on the economy. And they're saying they trust Republicans more on the economy and inflation, even foreign policy, even tariffs, are crying out loud. What does that tell you? And this is a very similar trend. There's other pollsters showing they may not like Republicans on these issues, but they are trusting them way more on them. Maybe not as much as last year or in 2022, but they're saying they're better than Democrats. Maybe not enough to get them a House majority again, but still, it's a sizable chunk of voters that still trust Republicans on these core issues compared to Democrats. Democrats, meanwhile, they have nothing. And that's their problem. Yes, they have their base of support. Their voters are very enthusiastic, but they're not getting any Trump voters to switch over. That's their first big problem. And these undecided voters, they might be saying they vote Democrat, but when they actually vote, they may think, okay, the economy, I trust Republicans more on that, immigration, foreign policy, whatever. These undecided voters, or even voters leaning to the left, they may just say, screw it. Maybe not even vote or whatever. We don't know. So we'll see what happens because we're only in January? Yeah, anything could occur the next couple of months. But really, the three big things, one of them is going the Democrats' way. Enthusiasm, clear as day. Though I still think it's overstated, whatever. The collapse of Trump's base, that's not happening. Trump's base is still behind him. You got some that say they disapprove, but because he hasn't gone far enough, these voters, they're not going to vote Republican. And Republicans are trusted on every single major issue compared to Democrats. Democrats have nothing. And we're not even talking about party registration in places like North Carolina, Arizona, these other states. We're not even mentioning that. So, again, anything can happen. I still think Democrats are the favorites this year. But how can anyone honestly say, yeah, these are actually, everything's looking perfect for Democrats? And a quick reminder that every time they pulled Trump in the last 10 years, they have always dramatically understated his support. But midterm elections, they are different. They're usually lower turnout, but we shall see what happens. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.